Hello, good people. This is going to be called Soulless Talk with Jay. I get mad, then I say why, then I get mad. Okay, we're going to talk about soullessness because most of you will never know what it's like to be soulless, or to have only 20% left. It's actually can be a good thing because you no longer feel like you're holding on to barbed wire. You no longer feel like you're holding on to an electric fence all the time. For example, when you have a negative soul that's suppressed and oppressed, if you have an oppressed soul, which means that you're conscious that this is a hell planet, present planet, so it starts to beat you down and beat you down and beat you down. And for example, when I had a soul, I would go to places like Fresh Market. I would just see a beautiful woman, and it would just make me depressed. And it would make me, it would just add negative PSI, or excuse me, negative psi. Alright. So now, when I see a beautiful woman, it doesn't make me feel pain anymore. It doesn't add any negative psi anymore. I actually feel a lot more loving, and I feel like I'm operating out of my heart chakra now. And I wouldn't say that I'm alive. I would just say that I'm not feeling every last drop of pain anymore. It's almost like a release from suffering. When you lose your soul, there's a bit of a trade-off where you'll lose your soul energy, and you'll lose sense of humor. But at the same time, if you are like me, you won't feel like you're constantly getting hit in the head with a hammer. You won't feel like you're holding on to electric fence all the time. And Taylor Swift, her music sounds better when you have no soul, and because once again, that kind of music was there to soothe the robotic population, because that's why her music's so bland, and that's why her facial expressions are so cold. And same thing with Katy Perry and Kesha. All that music is 100% soulless. And so as far as the fast food is concerned, yesterday I did some experimenting, and I experimented with McDonald's, and I had 2 double cheeseburgers, a small fry, and an Oreo McFlurry, because old Kendall said it would be a training day, meaning that it would give me a lot of energy or whatever. So basically, it it gave me what I call a crown chakra orgasm, where it just put me so deep inside myself that if I had meditated, I probably would have had an out-of-body experience. Not because I was vibrating high, just because I was so deep inside myself. And I still haven't replicated the time when I first went to Burger King and had the double bacon cheeseburger and the large fry. I still haven't replicated that. I haven't got much energy off of anything, really. I haven't been able to get back to that point where I was so energized by the fast food. I don't know what the problem is. I think it was one of those things where because I hadn't done it, because it was the first time, in forever that I ate like a cheeseburger. I think that's why, because I had no immunity to the large fry and the double bacon cheeseburger. But I am feeling like a lot more meek. Like, I feel like Max Spears feels. I feel meek. I don't feel like I'm like a ravaging reptilian anymore. I feel like inside my crown chakra. And when you laugh, it's like an internal laugh. Like, you can feel the laugh, but you don't laugh. Like, you know that something's funny, but you don't actually laugh. And you don't feel fear anymore either. It's like old Kendall tried to like make me feel fear like he always does, because he always calls me to try to like vamp my fear, because he's just like me where he can't really feel anything. So he called me and tried to give me more bad news to vamp my fear, but I don't really have any fear to give away, because I just can't feel anything. And I mean, I can feel, but I can't like feel fear, because I'm just overexposed to negativity from all the drama with the court and all that crap. It's basically the nanobots like erode your soul. And you know who else has the vampire virus is there's two people who have it really bad, or three people rather. Andrew Bartzis, Cyrus King, and Carrie Cassidy. Now, Carrie Cassidy is the perfect example of a human that has the vampire virus, because you can see how like decrepit her mouth is, and you can see how her mouth doesn't move with her body. Or I mean, her mouth doesn't move like the way it should, the way a normal person speaks. Because Carrie Cassidy basically had a full Kundalini awakening, and then obviously the so-called Illuminati had to put the screws to her and give her the vampire virus, so you can see how her mouth doesn't really move right. It's kind of like having a stroke or Bell's palsy. Your mouth doesn't like catch up to the words. And Andrew Bartzis, yeah, he is like really deteriorating from the vampire virus. Basically, from what I understand, is that if you get the vampire virus and you don't do anything to rejuvenate yourself, then it just eats away at you. Like, for example, if you have like Carrie Cassidy, right, and she doesn't do any like animal sacrifice, or if she isn't taught the magic on how to vamp people, you can't like heal yourself. So you have to do something to heal yourself. You have to go vamp somebody, or you have to do like animal sacrifice. You have to do something to go back to normal. And see, the more you vamp someone, you spread the virus. So the way it works is like this, and it's exactly like the way Max Spears described it, and Karen Capricorn 4455 described it too, because what happens is you get vamped. I got vamped by Pita, and Capricorn 4455 got vamped by Lucius Adversarius. I fell in love with Pita, she fell in love with Lucius Adversarius, and that's the side effect of the virus, is that you fall in love with the person who gives you the virus, and it just keeps going on and on and on until we're all dead. So basically, one day when I learn the magic, I'll give someone the virus, and that will give me back what I was missing, and then that person who received the virus will erode their soul, and especially if they have nanobots in their body. Like, I think the perfect example of somebody with the vampire virus, but that does not have the nanobots, would be Teal Swan, because Teal Swan obviously has the virus because she's like super creepy and super robotic and unemotional, but at the same time she can be a vegan, so that means that she has the virus, but she doesn't have the nanobots. See, I have the virus and the nanobots, so I'm pretty controlled, and so once again it goes back to it not being your soul to sell, and what a shame. But I do feel a lot more comfortable around women now, because I don't feel like I'm constantly holding on to all this pain and guilt. And for example, like when I had a soul, I would always see a woman and I would be like, oh man, I wish you could just wake up. And see, now I feel like I can date a woman that doesn't have consciousness. Before, when I had a soul, I felt like I would have to have a woman that was conscious. But now I feel like I don't need a conscious person, because there's soul energy in having two people that are conscious and doing something about it. But when you lose your soul, and it's very specific, it's soul specific. So basically, now that I'm like soulless, I just want somebody that's warm and compassionate. That's like the only requirement now. Before it was like, before I needed someone like Chocolate Macabre, but she needed to and you know, she's another example of someone with their light going out, because Chocolate Macabre has everything, but at the same time she has nothing because she smokes. She's putting her light out by smoking. And then same thing with James Anodin Pendragon. When I spoke to the guy on Skype, he's very dark because he's a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan. And then once again, Queen Bee Knightley, her light is put out because she had an abortion. So your light goes out when you do stuff like that. See, everyone on our little YouTube community has their light put out. There's not one of us that has it. You know, one of the things that Gilbert was right about was that everyone following me would go down, and that's why, because my channel was like an attendance counter. It was like tracking all of you, and so in other words, because you guys are smart and have half a brain, they said to themselves, hey, we need to quell everyone. We need to find out all of who his subscribers are. We need to put out their light. And most of you are putting your own light out. Like Cole Courtner, who's like drinking himself under the table. And yeah, so the most energy I noticed that the muffins, doesn't matter which type, but I noticed that the sugar muffins are like the best for me. They give me like the erections. Now with someone like JB Murdoch, her problem is like money, because like she can't afford to be a vegan, and her reptilian genetics. See, and this is how they put her light out. They make her. She has like the reptilian genetics, and she can't afford veganism, so her light's put out. So there's not one of us that has it, and I feel a lot better now that my soul is eroded, because it's like, once again, I don't have to feel like I'm holding on to like an electric fence constantly. So it's kind of like an anesthesia for consciousness living. The profane, their anesthesia is their ignorance. My anesthesia is these nanobots and aura erosion.